yo, what's going on? It's something or nothing. Your boy Kuya, aka the Babinka boy, the Adobro, leader of the Holla Holla homies in the center, gang of the Show Pal Show. I'm here with my something or nothing fam. Let me introduce Tranquil, Ashes, superstar cosplayer, face painter, face maker, costume, all of that. You know, she just did it all. I was trying to run a list of things, but I was jumbling my words. What's up, Benita?
Hey, everybody. No, that sounds good to me. I mean, I love being brought in by Kuya P. I always feel like I'm cooler than I am, you know?
I'm just trying to be as good as you. I'm just trying to, you know, you got to bring the light with the light, you know? Come on now.
Oh, thank you. I'm doing good. I hope everybody's getting their shots. I just had my second shots, kicking my butt. But you know what? It's all good. I really want to get into what we've been watching. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it right over to Roo.
Yeah. Let me bring him in, though. Right. The love, the light, the man over there on the West Coast. W's in the house. Let me through the West Side. Former rapper turned barber turned everything. He's just an amazing cat, man. Bruh, I love this guy. Big Roo in the house.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's really good seeing you guys. I miss you, man. Very busy, bro. Lots is going on. I've got a lot planned, and I'm just in the mix, and I'm feeling good now, you know?
Hell yeah. You love to hear that.
Yeah, man. So I'm also pretty excited to hear what you guys have been watching, because I've been slacking. I got a new job. So I've been working. But is your job good, though? Job shining. I'm blessed right now.
There we go.
Good,
Let's do it.
I would like to hear.
Yes. Progress. That's what it's all it's about. But let's get into it, guys. What you guys been on? What you guys been watching?
Well, I was super late, and I'm just gonna come out and say it. I was super late on this show, but now that I've seen it, I just gotta let everybody know that I've seen it. I was super late on Invincible. But I've now finally watched it, and it's everything I could have wanted and dreamed about, and I can't wait to cosplay like everybody from there because everyone is so cool, so interesting. But on top of that, I did catch the new Loki. What about y'all? Have y'all caught the Loki?
So about that,
oh man.
I had the screeners last week, but I've been so fucking busy. I have yet to watch it, and I probably won't get to it until this weekend, yo. And I've been hearing everybody telling me, and you know, because cats are gonna spoil. We know that. We try to avoid it, but you know, it is what it is.
I'll do a review with you. I'm ready.
Okay, I'll let you know. Me and Glenn are gonna do a review. Glenn's already seen it. Okay. And so if you want to get on it, we can do it this weekend. And my man Rue, as always, bro, you always are invited to the party, bro. Yes, so I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So you know, y'all can talk on it. I don't care because I've already kind of been spoiled.
No, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I don't like doing that. I
literally only watched like the first 10 minutes. Like I was watching a little bit to catch up before I got on with y'all, just to recap to make sure when I get off, I can watch it and I'll be a little more seasoned, because I've been working 60+ hours to be.
Wow. Oh, really? So you've been really working
and that's not every 2 weeks, that's per week. So
shit.
Yes, sir. But that check is gonna be looking nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. As long as your check nice and you all right with it, then that's all that matters.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm
saying? But yeah, I'm slowly but surely trying to get through a mecca of shows, because I've just been like all over the place, as Kuya knows, being busy can like one be. But I've actually been on the gaming side, if I'm being honest. I've been playing a lot of God of War.
Okay.
Oh,
we do love our Kratos here. We do love it.
Yeah.
So I love his son. That's Atreus. That is my boy right there.
Okay.
Boy. Like the original God of War,
that all the time.
So during the pandemic, I actually went through all three on my PS3. And then as of recently, I'm so late. Like I remember me and Kuya were talking about like how I was still playing like GameCube and stuff. I just bought a PS4 like a month ago.
Wow.
So I've just played I'm just getting through the new God of War from like 2 years ago.
I got games like I told you, I've got games I haven't even played. PS4, I probably played maybe put an hour or two into it, and I got two of them, bro. And I just haven't had time to play them bitches, man. Where's the time? Nah, I'm with you. But I remember putting time in God of War though. God of War is my joint.
the first two God of Wars, and also I had a PSP, and they had
Oh,
God of
yeah.
War's Chain Olympus on the
Yeah.
PSP, and I killed that PSP version because I had to pimp it out because I got my PSP from Japan, and I was the only one with a 100 green color, so I had to flash that to everyone who could see it.
I would flex that. Hell yeah.
Right?
Flex on them, girl. Flex on
Flex.
them. I
But
love
yeah,
it.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm
Yeah,
glad you're
man. I
enjoying
love
it.
mythology. Mythology is
Yeah.
cool. Oh,
Oh,
that's
hell yeah.
speaking of mythology, that's one show I have been watching. I don't know if you guys have heard. I think it's called Ragnarok. It's a Netflix original series out of
I've heard
Norway.
of it, but haven't watched it.
Same,
It's
same deal. It looks interesting
it's
because I'm a
it's
fan of that
yeah,
type of stuff, but I just haven't had a chance to watch it either.
it's
Is
pretty
it
good.
like
I recommend.
Vikings?
Yeah, it's Vikings. I
Yeah,
mean, I
okay.
without giving too much away, it's basically like reincarnations of gods, and like there's basically frost giants who like still live amongst humans, and you see what it looks like. And
Okay.
yeah, but it's cool. Like I like it. I like listening to it in Norwegian as well because that's like how they filmed it in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I like subtitles, why not?
Yeah.
Shit's cool. Hell yeah. So I recommend. I probably they just came out with season 2 and I was waiting all pandemic. It came out 2019 and I was like, they
Mhm.
gonna drop it 2020. Like I'm gonna fucking watch this. I didn't get it. But yeah, no, give it a watch. Anybody that's out there that likes mythology, I definitely recommend.
Dope. Yeah, definitely. Man, I got a long ass list, bruh. And on my list
Tell
as
me
well,
about it.
the one of the shows that I recommended to you, bro, that I have yet to check out in Anita Tranquil, man, you should definitely check this out if you
Mm.
haven't already. Is Yasuke. You know,
That's just shit,
Oh,
man. I
okay.
love it.
yeah. Bruh, my boy LaShawn Thomas, is the producer behind that,
Mhm.
the lead animator, designer on that show, killing it. And everybody's like, yeah, man, you ain't seen that yet, bruh. Trust, I already know. I already know. Because I'm supposed to do a review with you, my man. And as soon as I can, I'll let you know what's up. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man, we got it. It's
I got a long ass
always a
list.
good time. Yeah, I feel you. So I don't know how y'all's laws are pandemic wise and but theaters are open in California.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my lady finally got to go to the theater in over a year.
What film
And
did you
we
go
had
see?
Raya.
Oh,
Oh, y'all went to see Raya at the
yay.
theater.
Because
Okay.
we've been sleeping. I wasn't gonna pay that $30 on Disney Plus. I
That's
mean,
fair.
you
That's
know,
fair. That's fair.
And I mean, once I heard that it was in theaters, I was like, I might as well. Like, I'm down for that movie experience.
Mhm.
Got
And
it.
they have uh, recliner big boys over at City Walk Hollywood. That's where we went to go watch it at.
Yeah.
And I knocked out within like 25 minutes. So
What?
yeah, but what was crazy was the next day is I didn't know Raya actually came out on Disney Plus for free. So I ended up
My guy, you've been working
yeah,
so
and
hard, bro.
I've
That's
been
what took you out, right?
I've been literally sleeping.
Yeah.
That's so
But
like I know I went ahead and did it. I did it for the culture. I like so when it came
exactly.
out,
Hell
I
yeah.
went ahead and spent that 30 on Raya. But I haven't talked about it really
The culture
because
appreciates you, Kuya. I mean, Anita. The culture appreciates you.
I spent it on there because I wanted to, support
Yeah.
and
I
also
feel
Yeah.
you.
to like I've been to multiple of those Southeast Asian countries. So it was kind of cool to I always find it cool to see places that I have been in or been to in movies or in shows.
Yeah.
It just kind of like brings me back there. I was like, I was there. Like, I remember that. I've seen that. I've played in that fountain. Things like that. Like, for example, you like mythology. The Trevi Fountain is a really like important fountain in Rome, like big deal. And one night I was there with a bunch of friends. We were all in togas and we ended up playing in that fountain. Totally not legal at all. Not legal in the slightest. But
Yeah.
we did it. It was a good time. And the leader of
Making
the group,
memories. Making
For
memories.
real, man. That's dope.
exactly. The leader of the group was Italian. So I feel like I got the cosign to go ahead and do that.
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah, no, that's dope.
I love it.
I love Riot. I thought it was great. I think she's awesome.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. So
no,
yeah.
that's
Did you
definitely my favorite Disney princess now.
okay.
Yeah, no, for real. And then
Cool.
Moana second because that's my girl.
Yo,
Yeah.
so yo, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's like Raya. So for me, it's like Raya and Moana are like tied, but they're tied for like different reasons.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
like
hard to go one over the other personally for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like in Raya, like the fighting and like the cinematography and stuff in that movie was super good, and also like the representations. Like I was like, oh, Thailand, oh, like I just could point those things out, and I was like, that's super cool to have in a movie. And then Moana, I mean,
Yeah.
make way. It's kind of really hard
Yeah.
to like Moana.
There's a sentimental thing for me with Moana because at that time my wife had lost her grandmother. And so having just recently lost her grandmother and then seeing that sequence where, the whole turtle thing and just, we were all crying. So, yeah, that just hit a certain way. So there was like inspiration from Raya, but then like cinema inspired with Moana too, but just there was a very sentimental aspect of it because of that connection with family and all of that. Right. Ohana, just, so important. Ohana, but I want to ask y'all a question because I had another friend that, had watched Raya as well. And I had recently done an interview with the cast from Disney's Us Again, which was that short that played right before Raya. But when he said he saw Raya, he didn't see that short. It's about a mixed couple, elder couple that, are kind of just old set in their ways. There's no communication at all, but it's a whole thing where it starts raining and then they go out in the rain. She leaves out and then they're their younger selves when they're in the rain. But then when it's not raining, they're older. But it's just like a unique love story thing. And I talked to the choreographers, the directors, and the producers recently. And so by looking at your looks, y'all didn't see that. So you didn't get that right.
That didn't show for me. Yeah.
I saw it in the theater.
Okay, so you did see it, Rue.
Yeah, it didn't show for me.
Okay, so Anita, it's on Disney Plus now. It just came out last week on Disney Plus.
Okay.
So you can check it out there. I love to hear what you think. I think it's such a beautiful piece that just combines, yeah. Rue, what'd you think? Yeah, can you describe it for Anita?
Me and my girl were bawling.
Bruh, bawling. All the tears.
Like without giving too much away, because even if I try to explain what it is, I think it's something that everybody, like once you get to a certain age, you like relate to, where it's
hell
like,
yeah,
time passes us by and certain great like moments that we really latch onto
and take for granted,
like they're gone at some point, and like it kind of gets scary, but it's also part of the human experience to like really like deal with that and know that the train stops one day, we're gonna get off and there ain't nothing you can do about it. But that's what's beautiful, is because that's the one thing that's guaranteed to all. And I think it shows it in a way where it shows how you're scared, but it also shows acceptance. And when you see it, you'll like, I think you'll know what I mean, but I'm just trying like not to give it away too much at the same time.
No.
I think that's perfect, Rue. Yeah, and Rue, Anita, you gotta see it, girl.
I'll watch it. Great. I'll definitely watch it.
It's only 7 minutes too, so it's a very short piece.
Yeah. I mean, because like for me, it kind of the themes you're talking about kind of resonate with me, because I don't know if you guys seen it, but I really enjoyed Soul. I thought Soul was a great, even underrated, honestly.
Yeah.
Movie that really tackles some themes very similar to what you were speaking about, and basically how maybe one path that you thought was your path might not be that path. It might be this path, and because you're trying so hard this way, you're missing all the good stuff this way, and like so on and so forth. And it was a beautiful movie. The piano work that was done in that movie was also fantastic. I used to play, don't play anymore. So because of that, I always am partial to anybody playing piano in a movie.
I love it.
Yeah, no, Soul is definitely, I think, top 5 Pixar films for me at this point. For sure, because what I love about Pixar, but Disney too, like they really have a gift with capturing what being a human is. And I know I just said that prior, but it's crazy because like there are like times where you I think Pixar specifically, I might be rambling on, so but y'all bear with me for a second. But it used to be more about like, you know, fun stories like Cars and Incredibles and stuff like that, and they're like classics forever. But now with things getting more diverse and culture shifting, and you know stories are being like retold, but also through the eyes of like different backgrounds and stuff like that, we're gonna start seeing, where was I going? Y'all ever get into a good thought and then like it just stop? But that's what I mean. It's just like we're finally starting to get some really good plots,
Yeah,
and we're also getting like really good quality. So I just feel like companies like Pixar and Disney from here on out have just kind of been getting better, and their messages have more depth and more meaning
definitely.
to them. You know what I
I
mean?
think what I've seen, being that I've covered a lot of their material, you know, within the past couple of years,
Mhm.
having been able to go visit Pixar quite a few times, and just
Hmm.
they're allowing their talent, and they're nurturing their talent instead of just coming with a commercial idea off the top. They're working with their talent. What stories do you have? Like my buddy Bobby Rubio, who created the story Float, that was part of their Pixar Shorts program, which
Mhm.
is his story. He is a father with a son that had autism, and how difficult it was him being a father dealing with a kid that has
Hmm.
autism. And so, you know, so those stories come from the heart. With Disney's Us Again that we just spoke of, when I got to sit down and be part of this virtual press conference with Zach Parrish, who was
Hmm.
the creator behind it. And then he got Keone and Marie Madrid to be the choreographers on it, and Pinar Toprak, who is a composer for Captain Marvel. Just this amazing breadth of talent. But Zach basically was feeling old himself. It came from him starting to feel his age, and discussions with his wife, and just reconnecting to what we are as a people. So when you come with a story that's from your heart, that has grit to it, a soul to it, that's where the best material comes from. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I think that's what Pixar is doing, is they're mining that, because you know it when you see certain things. You know what I'm saying? When you can tell when things are hollow and commercial, or at least that's what I feel. I that's how I
I
guess.
think it's a combination of like a couple of things, right? I
Yeah,
think one, it's a combination of technology. Kids are smarter than they ever,
yeah,
ever, ever been.
yeah,
And so you have that, so you can put deeper themes into these kid shows. And I
yeah,
also think they decided to not treat kids like quote unquote kids. They're treating kids like people. And I
yeah,
think that is kind of translating like really well across. I mean, and like me and Rue, we love Avatar. Like Avatar was a very good example of putting mad adult themes into a kid show, but presenting it in a way that, you know, teaches the lesson. You understand the gravity of something. And, you know, I think Disney and Pixar kind of have like formulated that perfect mix without pulling like the trauma card on you.
yeah.
Like, because that's also like a thing. You can always tell when they're just trying to trauma you into liking something.
Mm,
But I think Disney kind of, they got that fine line where it's just like, oh, you feel it, but it's not just a grab, if that makes any
yeah,
sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also, to add on to that, I also think that they formulate like every project has one lesson that you
Mhm.
take away every time, and that's what they're usually good at. They're not good. They're good at not straying away, and their
Mhm.
stories are like hard to follow and everything like that.
Mhm.
Like even though it's similar for almost like project after project, they still find ways to make it different, so we, you know, it doesn't even really matter, you know,
Yeah,
like
I think the most brilliant, like full length film is Coco when it comes to like
interesting.
the feels in Coco, the
Yeah.
feels in Coco. And I think also too, like this is the first time, I mean, and I've ever seen a display of Mexican culture like that on my TV screen, ever. Like, and I think also too, they're realizing that, hey, we like other things. We like seeing different cultures. We like seeing things that aren't like our norm, and they're really grabbing onto that, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, I see what you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
I love Coco. I
Coco's
like.
great.
I don't know about y'all, but well, that's a weird way to start off this sentence. But I lost my grandma back in 2016, so Coco really like strikes a chord with me.
I'm with you.
And also, what I was gonna add on to that earlier is what's the one with Tom Holland and Chris Pratt?
Onward.
Onward.
Onward hit me super hard because I lost my
Super hard.
father.
Same here.
And
So I definitely like it's a and it and I'm pretty sure you can relate. It's like to have that opportunity to have like a day with somebody
yeah.
that you lost. And I'm tearing up right now, but it's all good because we're real
Yeah.
here at
Love you,
Sumthin.
bro. Love you,
Love
man.
you.
Yeah, man, it's all love.
Yeah.
But it's like this is like real life type of things. And I love talking about it because these are things people definitely like it's cool to experience and like not cool to lose, but you know what I mean? It's cool to like talk things through,
Mhm.
like show that it's okay to not like hold things in. I think that's the main part why I love doing this with y'all is because um I it's good to be vulnerable with like your friends, but also just knowing that feeling things and like expressing them is very important
Hell
in
yeah.
like the process of like just progressing and being a better person. Because
Hell
I don't
yeah.
even think about
Absolutely.
my girl says I'm a beautiful crier, whatever that means. Because I don't like show emotion. I just kind
Aw.
of keep going. But I don't even think about it. I think my like my body just kind of regenerates things based off of like emotion. Because
Mhm.
I
Mm,
like inside it's very a peaceful feeling. It's never negative, never sad. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
hell yeah.
But to go back onto Onward, yeah, no, I think everybody has those feelings of what it's like to what it'd be like to have somebody for a day. And Pixar also has that one short bow. And I
Yep.
Yeah.
think Kuya, you could probably relate to this one day being a parent yourself
Yep.
is like one day your bird's gonna leave the nest and you gotta like
Yeah.
come to terms with what it's like
Bruh.
to have
Yeah.
that happen. So it's kind of crazy, man.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't have any kids, but my sister is 13 years younger than I am. So, you know, it was all, the gap is so big that
Mhm.
I did a lot of mom things, for my sister, the diapers and the school and the hair and all of that stuff. So anytime I see any type of parenting thing, I almost feel the same. I don't even have no kids, but that's how I feel about my sister.
Mhm.
So I totally get that. Like that short is real. That short is real.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. And like I was saying, yeah, they know they hit you in the gut, and but the creators behind it, like the guy behind Onward, that was his story, his family, in a way
Mm-hmm.
that was based on some of that stuff. So they're working with their team and they're coming from the heart. And to your point, Anita, they respect their audience. They're not having, in the past, you know, they dumb things down.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they know the audience is mature enough, like everything you were saying. So I just think it's beautiful. We're only getting more and better content from here, hopefully,
Yeah.
unless other people come in and try to change things, which happens as well. But
I mean, I
yeah,
think the train
yeah,
is going. I don't think anyone's going to stop the train at this point.
yeah,
But I don't remember who said it, but they said the best stories are stories with a person in conflict with themselves, like
yeah.
the human heart in conflict with itself. Those are the stories everybody wants to watch because those are the most relatable.
Yep.
So like I think, Disney, Pixar, all those films like that, they got it locked down. They figured out the magic Mickey formula. They figured that out. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
Mm. And in other news, besides the tear jerkers, what else have y'all
Yeah,
been
let's get on
watching?
some other.
I feel like we do this every time we get real
Getting
serious and then
emotional
we
here.
bounce right back up. But yes.
What else are we
Um,
doing out there, man? Because
Hmm.
I'm busy all the time, man. I've been
you
doing
are. You've been so
interviews
busy
after
all the time.
interviews. I'm doing some Tribeca Film Festival coverage right now. There's
Ooh,
this great
Tribeca.
documentary that I watched. So that's the stuff I have been watching with a lot of screeners.
Mhm.
One of the documentaries that I did, and the interviews up now on the channel. I talked to the director of this film called Accepted. I don't know if y'all saw these videos. It was like a bunch of viral videos about 2 or 3 years ago of a bunch of kids that were standing around their friend as they got this college acceptance. They were opening up that college acceptance email. And then all of a sudden, boom, they were celebrating. And there's a bunch of kids in Louisiana, and they were being accepted to all these Ivy League schools. This one school in particular, like kid went to Yale, kid went to, you name it, but it went viral, because just that love and community for these kids that were just making it. So this documentary called Accepted follows the class the year after all of those kids were all successful, which they're the first graduating class, and they, I think all 30 kids went to college. That's the fame of the show. They all go to college, and then the majority of them go to like Ivy League schools. So they're tracking these kids the second year, because how do you top that? How do you continue that, all that pressure that is? And so this documentary covers that. But what had happened and what came to find out that you find out during the documentary, there is a but a New York Times article that released that kind of broke the seal on this whole thing that was happening. So these kids were making it to these colleges, but the school were essentially kind of changing up, not being completely true in the admissions process on these kids, like saying they're a part of certain clubs that they really weren't a part of. So they kind of gave what the college was asking for. They were like, the college, in order for us to admit this person, it needs to say this and the third. So it's a difficult documentary for me, because I don't see the principal of the school in such a tragic light. Although there are reports that were in this article that was also in this expose that said he was kind of very abusive to the kids, making them kneel all the time. Just all these different things were happening, but he never there was a police report that he said he choked a kid, but it was never fully claimed, and it never was fully researched as well. So, and that class, so like 4 kids dropped out that particular school year that this documentary is done. But then in subsequent years, all their kids still make it to college. So it's just an amazing school that's trying to do good. But then here's this kind of this moment where, is it really all together there? So Anita, you're looking like you know some of the background on this.
Well, only because I do recall remembering there was a school where all of the kids made it, but I don't know if it's the same one. The question is, were they brown kids or?
Yeah, it was a black school.
Black school. Okay, because that changes things. So I remember this, and I find it interesting because remember not too long ago, it was a year or two ago, that big college scandal that came out.
Yeah, and that's part of this documentary too, because the kids were like, "Oh wow," and it kind of and that's why it's kind of hard, because here's white people doing this all the time. Were they just trying to do this to put because it's African American? Really? So it's a complicated documentary, but I think it's an amazing documentary. And the director, went in and just let the truth tell itself. And it's playing at the Tribeca Film Festival. It was a nominated film there, and it's an amazing documentary. If you guys get a chance to see it, definitely check it out, because it's what the reality is for kids nowadays that are in school, and the work that they put in to try and make it to be quote unquote accepted. That's why I think it was a perfect title. To just survive, and just how do you make it? And even if you get to college, if you're in this kind of big Yale environment, how do you still, it's so good. And I would highly recommend it. So that's one of the Tribeca films I covered. And there was this other one that I did that I'm going to be doing a review soon on, called Do Not Hesitate. I talked to the director for that too. It kind of touched home with me, because as a former military guy serving overseas, interacting with these communities in these lands that don't really want us there as, we're occupiers, and taking advantage of the world. It deals with this group of military soldiers that are just a peacekeeping force from Holland that are in, it really doesn't say what country in the Middle East they're at, but you can kind of get the vibe that they're in a Middle East country. They're there shipping goods. One of their vehicles breaks down. There's a kid, one of the soldiers goes to use the bathroom, sees something in the woods nearby, shoots it. It happens to be a goat. So he buries the goat along with the other soldiers. And then a kid comes along, that's my goat, but they don't speak the language. And so here these guys are waiting, these soldiers waiting for the rest of their team to come pick them up because their vehicle's broken down. But there's this kid that won't leave them alone and is asking questions about their goat. And so it deals with communications between an occupying force and the people of that area. And those soldiers are so disrespectful towards that goat. And they like, oh, we'll just give you this money or whatever, this food, and he's like, I hate you, but they don't know that. And just, it speaks on what actually occurs. And that's what I felt so close to it, because you don't see that. Generally, when you see like military-esque films, it's the glamorization of the big US force and, blah, blah, blah. But there's other sides of these stories and that aren't being told and seen. And so I love that we're seeing films like this that kind of shows you that other side, that it's just not as glamorous or what you think it may be,
I've never had a rose-colored glasses on when it comes to that. My dad was a Black Marine during the Vietnam War, so you could imagine the things he went through. So like I already knew like all of that like in the door, and I still was about to like join myself. So I kind of knew what to look out for. But I'm glad they're telling those stories, and it's interesting that you're bringing up like these like indie like film festival movies. What movies do you think should be made that haven't been made?
Oh, wow.
That's a good question.
Well, that's really stories, because there's a lot of films that should be made. There's a lot of stories that are amazing,
a lot of stories that
need to come out.
I think also, though, that there are a lot of stories that have been told, but have not, like,
been sufficiently told.
Yeah, like isn't there that I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a movie about a woman Marine. And it shows her going through boot camp, and it shows what women have to deal with in the military. And like you see some really fucked up shit, honestly. Like you see her getting raped in boot camp by her superior officer, like to have to move up and like actually pass her 3-month boot camp. Like I don't know if this was a true story or not, but I definitely remember seeing that. And I think you were right. Like usually they do make these movies about the American soldiers are the heroes, and they come in here and they are there to make the world better and spread the ideals of America. And it's just like, there ain't nothing wrong with these places that are like untouched by America, But yeah, I what kind of movies would you guys think need to be out there and be made?
I want a Mansa Musa movie. I want one super bad. Like, how Black Panther like did like a lot for people's overall perceptions of Black people. I think like a Mansa Musa movie. Like Mansa Musa is the richest person who's ever lived, ever, 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 ever. And to show like his trip to Mecca, I think would be a really cool thing, because like he was just handing out gold, and like basically he was so rich he was just toppling like cultures, because inflations would go up. Bread was like $9,000, like because everybody had so much gold. I was like, yo, could you imagine seeing something that like you just can't touch that. You can't touch that. And I think that would be a cool look. And it also would put a very different light on the Islam faith as well. Because before all this shenanigans that Europe brought over here, that was like the main like belief. Everybody that wasn't like something to be feared. It was a religion that was respected. It was that group of people's religion, and that was it. And I think it would be good to see that in a different light, and that Black people can be non-Christian, or Black people could be follow different types of I just think it would be a really cool look, personally.
No, yeah, for sure. Kuya, you have any
Hell
thoughts?
yeah.
You have any movies that
Oh, bro,
you'd like to see the series
where should I begin? Where should I get in? But I'm with you on that one, Anita. Definitely. I haven't heard of that person in a while, so yeah, that would be amazing to see that. So yeah, for me, man, my list is long. I have one of the films I've talked about a lot on my Show Pal show because I'm very proud of my Filipinx heritage. Is I want to tell the story of the Battle of Mactan and the story of Lapu Lapu. One of the earliest stories of indigenous tribe rebelling against colonizers, because we had Magellan trying to come to the Philippines and my man Lapu Lapu taking care of that situation. So that's one that I want to tell, and I already have a cast of actors in mind and all that. So that's actual screenplay that I honestly here and there have been working on. But to show light on a recent Show Pal Show episode, another story that I really want to see made, because there's so many Philippine heroes of mine, but being that I love my African American brothers and sisters out there like you, Anita, and then with my wife being African American, there's one of the earliest stories to me that I found of Asian Black solidarity. There was this guy by the name of David Fagan, who was an African American soldier that was part of this Black troop that were sent to quell things in the Caribbean. And then all of a sudden, when here comes America as colonizers wanted to go take over the Philippines, the early times when they did, because we've been, we've had so many different people that occupied us and changed up our culture. When Roosevelt was sending people over, they're like, we don't want to send our white people over there. Y'all colored people would do okay over there because y'all are used to the heat and all of that. So they sent my man David Fagan and another group of Black soldiers and other white soldiers over to the Philippines. And then once they were there, as part of this American force to quell us indigenous cats in the Philippines, they're like, Fagan was like, nah, man, what? Nah, this isn't right. These people, this is their world. This is their country. And he banded over to the Philippines and joined our side. And so that's where I was saying, this is one of the first examples of Black Asian solidarity. Nah, U.S. is in the wrong. We're the occupying force. This is wrong. So he became essentially a general in the Philippine Revolution in our army. And there's an amazing story of him, just fighting back with our people against the Americans. Roosevelt sent a bounty on his head. And the rumor is he, was surviving, married a Filipina, and was kind of, in the woods, just, smacking the American forces. And then because they put a bounty on his head, this one Philippine cat says, here, I have the head of him in my bag. And it's never been identified that it was really his head. And the rumor is he was thriving and surviving in the Philippines once, all that kind of quelled and all that. But just an amazing story. And I recently had this actor producer on Show Pal Show, my first Black non-Filipino guest on the Show Pal Show, because he's trying to make this story happen. He's been trying to produce the story of David Fagan for going on 5 years now. And I really want to see him succeed with it. And I'm fully supporting it because it's a story that when I learned of David Fagan, I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Because you rarely get those stories of Asians and African Americans working together as one. And we've always been that way to a degree, but there's just been this other society and culture that says, that are pitting us against each other and shit. So it was amazing to hear that story that way back then, David Fagan saw, how this was happening and going down and tried to make a difference. So that is definitely a story I want to see happen along with the story of Lapu Lapu. There's a lot of Filipinx stories that need to be told. Yeah. And just with every race and culture and stuff that, there's more to what they're giving us in Hollywood, and hopefully, the times are changing and we're going to see that happen. So I could go all day on that one, Roo.
I don't know why that reminds me of, I think it would also be maybe a series. I think you couldn't do this in a movie, but, the 300 years that Africa conquered Spain, that whole Moor situation.
Oh, the Moors definitely need to be told.
The Moor situation, and how literally the moment after African occupation, Christopher Columbus discovered America. So literally, had we still occupied Spain, there might not have been a US. So I think that would be a banging story to tell. Could you imagine? That'd have been wild, right?
Yeah,
like,
For real.
like some real true indigenous stories.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before a lot of this colonization and ridiculousness happened, man. But they'll never tell it. They'll never tell it.
That's what we got to tell it. So
Exactly.
For real. You know what's wild? Like, have you guys seen the movie 10,000 BC?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it. It's been a minute though.
So I definitely suggest it's a great film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the movie's about, the title. It's 10,000 BC. It's a long time ago. And I mean, like, when you watch it, it kind of shows like that this is like a kind of a flaw in human nature that we had, like, because obviously, like, so basically in the movie, people get kidnapped by more colonizers. It kind of looks like they get sent to Egypt to build pyramids, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's like its own story, like it's made believe. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that colonization has always been the like a key factor in human history, no matter what the race, really,
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, not Genghis Khan. Yeah, Genghis Khan, right?
Mhm.
That's what I'm talking about. He's probably the only motherfucker in the entire history of the world.
See, I wouldn't call him a colonizer. I'd call him a conqueror, but I wouldn't call him a colonizer.
Well,
And the
okay,
reason why I say
Educate
that
me.
is because just like the Moors, whenever other ethnic groups take over a space, that they tend to let the country be, as long as they just follow the rule. They don't take anything from them. They're not, hey, bow down. Yes. Okay. Join the army. Yes. Okay. And they keep it bopping. Like it wasn't.
I see what you're saying. No, yeah,
yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we've had a lot of conquerors, but it wasn't until the Europeans that we got colonizers, and that is the big difference. And also, we weren't conquering people weren't conquering people because of their skin color. They wanted land and dominance and power, basic stuff. And then, and also too, I watched a documentary on this like not too long ago. You can look at the text, like literature, because that, literature reflects the times. And if you look at literature, there's no mention of race until the European colonization. It didn't matter. Like they explained people by what they did, not what they looked like.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So yeah, we have colonizers now.
Yeah, no,
it was a class system. It was a class system. I'm sure race was an element there, but it was a class system.
Mm-hmm. It was more like in group and out group. Like Spaniards hated the French. The French hated the English. They killed each other just as easily. The Vikings hated them. Like Vikings is a good show to show you that it didn't matter what color you were from a different part of the world. Therefore, you deserve to be conquered by us. And that's how it just used to be. It was like, you're culturally different, so we don't like you.
Yeah.
I
just don't think they had a word for it. It was definitely a class system.
Classism, yeah, sure.
But I think they just didn't. I think race did come into play to a degree, but they didn't just have a term or a way to prescribe that yet. So it more so would lend itself to classism. But
I feel like maybe the whole race thing comes from maybe more of a primitive thing, where it's like, we have tribes from early on in like human history, and you associate with your tribe off of people that look similar to you. That's
exactly
that's how you go off of that shit. And anybody that it doesn't look like in your tribe is an automatic enemy, because they're
but it wasn't based off skin color, because even if you think about it, in the Roman Empire, right, they conquered a whole lot of places, but there were Black people in the legions. There are white, Asian, Black gladiators. They were all slaves, and they all had to fight for freedom. It really, honestly, it didn't have anything to do with your skin. It had everything to do with, hey, we're Greek, you're Roman, we're better. And it doesn't matter what your skin color is. If you hail from Greece, I'm not bothered with you.
I'd agree and disagree, Anita. I see your point, which is trying to make, but I just think there's terminologies was different and perception wasn't all the way there yet to prescribe that to it yet. I definitely think, 100, it was a class system.
Sure.
Class has always been a thing, but I think they didn't have a term yet to describe race in a way. Because again, even in the simplest terms in indigenous times, the lighter you are, darker, there was still kind of like a separation there. I don't think you could have ever escaped that because that just happens.
It was a classism thing. It wasn't just based off you were born brown. Right?
No,
like
I don't think
you had
that
to work
was
in
like
the
a
field.
main factor. I think I don't think that was a main factor. And I feel like when because this is what I've learned dating a POC. I feel like when you are darker, that sometimes associate with you being a manual labor worker, and when you're a fair skin tone, that means you are inside of the palace, or you're inside because you have workers and stuff like that. You're fair skinned because you don't have to work hard. So I think that's where Kuya is talking about where the classism plays in.
I agree with that.
Where and it's literally like a science thing. Obviously, if you're outside more in the sun, you're gonna have darker skin because that's how melanin works. That's how that's how things work. If you're inside, you're gonna get pale after a while. But I think as humans, like there's something about us that differences always result in conflict with us. It doesn't matter whether it's race, it doesn't matter whether it's classism. If there's something that's different that makes us feel a certain type of way about somebody, it's gonna always result into negative energy. And I think that we're capable to recognize it and to understand where it comes from, because I think ultimately it actually is self-projection rather than an actual you have a problem with somebody. I think anything that we fear in others, we actually fear within ourselves.
And it doesn't necessarily even have to be fear. Jealousy is a big proponent of why things have happened as well.
Yeah, I think negative energy is like negative energy.
And just in general,
in general is just like any type of, because I think I don't believe in black and white, you know what I mean, but I do believe in positive and negative. And I think with that, those are like two definite things, is like whether it's jealousy, hatred, lust, or maybe lust could be a good thing too. But it's like whether you decide to put out negative energy or positive energy is what will result in what this world will be like in the end. You know what I mean? And it's up to us to, I got my pen in the camera and shit. It's up to us to decide which frequencies and energy we decide to put out there.
I'm with you, bro. Yeah.
Anyway,
tell it. I think that's a good way to end this joker right here, man.
We're about an hour in.
Yeah.
About an hour in. I can't talk anymore, man. I'm tired.
No, you're good.
That's why I say we're starting to run down, man. But it's like it's rare because we get together. Like you want to stay forever and talk, man. Because I love you guys, man. It's always just a beauty. I wish we could do it more.
It's fun. I love having these debates, if you will, because it's never like disagreements. I always feel like it's just different perspectives, and it's important to see that, because I definitely see where you guys are coming from, and I just usually hope that you guys see where I'm coming from.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. The key is we know what civil discourse is. And we're able to have that as adults. So
exactly. If we had more of this, more conversation and being open and listening, for that discussion, the world would be a better place.
100%.
We working towards it.
We are.
Hell yeah. Yo.
Well, I'm glad to hear y'all doing good, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Me too, guys.
Seeing you.
Yes, let's sign off, because I got this one screener that I just noticed is gonna shut off at midnight, so I have to watch it before it does.
Okay.
I hear you.
So
do your thing, but let's get that low key review going.
Low key, Yasuke.
Let me know.
All of it. Yeah, we'll hit each other up, man. Let's plan also for the next show. I want to have some guests in the next go round.
Yeah, let's do that.
The last time we had people in, we brought in some mad numbers. We need to get that number count up again. And
Absolutely.
Rue needs to be here for some special guests. So let's discuss on that who we want to bring in, and let's make that happen and have fun.
I'm excited.
Hell
All
yeah.
right. Well, y'all have a good rest of your night. Thank you guys for tuning in with us at the I was about to say my other podcast, the Something or Nothing podcast.
Well, show love. Let's tell them how they can reach out to us. Show love to that, man, because that's what we all about, man. We give love, so serve love.
Go follow my other podcast on Spotify, the Open Mic Podcast. Go follow my other co-host, Michael Miguel. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus, just with transitions and everything. It's 2021, but we're going to be riding in full effect very soon again, and we're going to be putting out new episodes. You guys can still follow me at ROOHKAGE, Roohkage, Kage Village Hidden in the Clout. Yeah, and then just keep up with me and keep up with my friends right here, my loved ones.
Hell yeah. Anita.
You can find me, Tranquil Ashes, on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll be launching a Patreon soon, so look out for that. Follow this D&D podcast that I'm doing every Tuesday, Dark Fantasies, on Twitch. Yeah, keep it easy. Go ahead, Kuya.
What I want to know is, what about your new podcast that I'm going to produce with you here on the NRW?
Oh, I'm working on it. I have some guests in mind too. I'll talk to you about it.
Okay, we need to talk on that because we kind of kept it tight-lipped for a little bit, but I'm ready to put it on. So that's why I'm putting you on the spot right now. I want to make that happen.
Put me on the spot. Put me on the spot. Do it.
You know what I'm saying, Rue? We need to have her shining with some ladies.
I didn't even know about this.
See?
It's coming.
Help me push her, bro.
Go do your thing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna make that happen. Yo, Rue, Anita, I love you guys as always. Always a pleasure. I wish we could do it more. I wish schedule was even better. But we'll do it when we can, and we'll show love and light whenever. Your boy Kuya P. You can follow me at Strain Since 1977, as well as at Temple Far East, here at the NRW and at New Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world, and at the Nerds of Color on everything, where we give you pop culture from the POC perspective. And Show Pal Show, where I represent my Philippine X culture. Yo, it's the Something or Nothing podcast. Rue, Kuya P, Tranquil Ashes. We're out of here. Boom.